VCast, we're going to go through and show you how we put together our VCast every week. Now, we're going to do it a little bit different because I'm doing it hot. I'm not doing it recorded. Normally, I do certain sections and then do it. But today, you're going to learn the ins and outs of how we put together our podcast. Let's get started. All right, what we're going to do is I want to show you how we lay out the podcast first, and then we'll go through the various sections. Now, I lay out our entire podcast using Google Slides. Google Slides is absolutely free, and because it's free, it gives us some utility. It's like PowerPoint, except it's free and it's in the cloud. So no matter what computer I'm working on, if I see something that I want to include in the podcast, I can copy it to the podcast layout for the next podcast show or VCast show. In this particular case, the first thing we do now, also, what we do is we create show notes based on what we put in the Google Slides. Whatever's on this, as you see it here, whatever's on this, these are the different slides. Whatever's on it, that is what we're going to use for the podcast. Now, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can probably see it a little bit better. I hope that that's what I do. It looks like I'm making it smaller, but I hope it, yeah, I guess I am making it smaller. All right, so anyway, this is what we're going to do. So this is our first slide. It tells us the date, what our subject is, and as you see, how we create our VCast, the date that it's going to be shipped to our podcast distribution network, what season it is, what episode it is, and then later, after we compile these in the show notes, I'll go back and put a link to the show notes right here and use this along with the first few slides as our description as we put it on YouTube or Facebook or what have you. Okay. Now, when we do the broadcast, normally we send it out using Restream, and we love Restream. There's a link. There's going to be a link to that, and we just simply love it. I'm doing this live video right now using the Restream Live Studio, and I really do love it. I can swing back and forth. I can, as you can see, if you want to get an open call with me, all you have to do is come right over here and go to the open call. So the link is right there. All you have to do is type it in. It's ifggo.pro/let's talk, and we will talk. Okay, and that's what that's about. Okay. What else? So that's the beginning. Now, the next slide that you'll see here is our introduction. Now, normally I read this, and I'm going to read it now the way I would read it if you were on there live with me. Now, we do use a tool that we really do love. It's called Easy Prompter. And normally I would put all of this text that you see on the left right in this black box and read it right into the camera. So what you would see is me talking to the camera, yet it would be the text. Now, this is really the prompter for today's broadcast, Steps to Podcast Creation. But I just wanted you to see how we would normally use that to get the job done. All right. So I would read this, and we go something like, "Welcome to the I Feel God VCast." That's a video and audio podcast. That's what a VCast is. I hope you're enjoying our VCast. We talk about a lot of different things. we put out a new show every Tuesday at 12 noon. This week, our focus is on how we create our podcast. Hey, we're thinking of also changing the name of our podcast to Don't Buy Fried Ice Cream. Look for that at the end of the podcast. We're going to do a special spot on that and let you know what we're trying to do and how you can have your say in what we do. Now, the great thing about a VCast is that every week is a new start. So let's get started. And so that would be in my teleprompter. I would read that, and then we would hit with a stinger. You heard the stinger just a minute ago. We'll play it again for you just so you hear it. Then we do the stinger with our logo. That's called a stinger, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. So then the next slide that we have is going to be our timestamp. Now, right now, there's nothing in here. But when we go to post-production, the start time for each segment of the video will be included here. And you'll see 0001:20 if it starts in a minute and 20 seconds after the thing starts, after the show starts. 3.40 if it starts 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And so what that does is when we go to YouTube, when we post this to YouTube, you can start and you can listen to the section you want to hear of the VCast. All right. So that's one of the things that video can do. It doesn't do much for us in Facebook, and it doesn't do much for us in LinkedIn or any of the other places that we normally send the podcast. But even in that, the description, it's in the description so people can move forward if there's a certain section of the podcast that they want to hear. The next section would be our Bible notes. Normally, I'll put a Bible scripture, I'll read the scripture, and then I'll give a description of what the scripture is talking about or my interpretation of what the scripture is talking about. And that's what we call our Bible notes section. After that, we get to what really is what we're going to talk about the rest of the way in, all right? It is our outline. Now, the various parts of, let me keep on going, because in the various sections, this is tech notes, then we talk about running our own giveaways. Now, I haven't talked about where we do our post-production and where we do our recording of the individual sections when we're not using Restream. Well, let me take you over and show you. We use a product called Camtasia, and this is from last week's show, and in fact, I can play a little bit of it. Notice that we have our graphic that tells what we're going to talk about, using gifts for marketing, run our own giveaways, don't buy fried ice cream, and the date. All of this is in our slate, what we call our slate, and we just get started and roll. Now, here's an example of one of the spots that we run. On the subject of a giveaway, did you know that businesses and churches can build responsive email lists literally overnight without spending money for promotion? Generating tons of leads for your business, ministry, or brand with viral giveaways is as easy as shooting ducks in a bucket. You've spent hours executing marketing plans, thousands of dollars on ads, and a ton of energy begging your mom to tell her book club about your business. And you know how that works. And has any of that really grown your email list or grown your business? If it had, you wouldn't still be listening to what I have to say. Not all hope is lost, though. You can bring your business or brand into the spotlight without breaking the bank by running viral giveaways. Listen, go get all the information at ifggo.pro/MDM. That's ifggo.pro/MDM. All right, so that's the section. That's an example of a section. Now, we would come in here, and the record button is right up here on top in Camtasia, and we would record that section. I would use that teleprompter that I showed you earlier, and we'd use that, and I would read it, and that section would then be ready to go. And then after that, we'd hit you with our stinger again. I like our stinger. I didn't know if I told you I like our stinger. All right, so that's our stinger. And between each segment, we would run the stinger. And then at the end of all of this, we have our completed show. Now, the great thing about running it in Camtasia here is that we can see right down here. I don't know if you can see it. You're kind of behind. Let me move it over here. If you can see my mouse, it's right underneath ifggo.pro right there. So right here in this section right here, it tells you what time it is. It tells you what time. Right now it's 8 minutes and 25 seconds into the broadcast when we put it together. Now what I would do is take that over to the timestamp index and put the time that the next section would start. And we do that for each section so that you would have it. Now, today's broadcast is a little bit different because we're doing it live. This is a hot shot. We don't have any of this really recorded. So the first thing you do to do the podcast is you assemble all the content. We do that here in Google Slides. So we have the text for the Run Your Own giveaways, and the link for that is right there at the bottom. Okay, we have the our mission statement. We like to tell people why we do what we do every week, and then we have what we use. We love Groove Funnels, and we have no hesitation in talking about Groove Funnels. And so that would be maybe the next. Once we did the Bible verse, and once we've done the what our mission is, we would probably put in the Groove Funnel spot. So let me go over here. I think this is from last week. Let's see. Maybe. No. It must be this one. It is. This is the Groove Funnel spot. I'm not going to play all of it.
We use almost every day. It's Groove Funnels. This is the new best way to create websites, build funnels, and sell digital products online. That's what we do. Forget complicated software. Say goodbye to clunky websites. Cancel all your monthly fees for all that stuff.
Okay, so you get an idea of how that goes. If you want to go and get more information. By the way, did I say Groove is free? Groove is free. I love free. It's one of my favorite things is free. So if you need to make landing pages and that kind of thing, if you need someplace to do your email without spending a lot of money for everything, you can get started in your digital business using Groove. And it's probably the most effective way to get started. Now, they do have a paid program, but to get started, you can get a few websites up, a few landing pages up, and that may well get your money coming in from your affiliate programs, from as being an affiliate. We've talked about that before. And I need to close my mouth. That don't make sense. Just got my mouth wide open. Okay. So that's it. The ifggo.pro/IMN. Go over there. You'll find all the information. They don't even ask for your credit card. You can get started. Okay. So back to the slate. So this is an example of what we would have from the slides. Then the next section, life and current events notes. Now we have usually about 15 to 20 of these slides that we do. And this one, next week, you'll probably hear this, how to file your state and federal taxes for free. There are a lot of hustles out there that are trying to take people's money. They're not really doing the taxes for free, but they make you think they will. So be careful of that. And then we have, so each section is a different slide. Now, these are not standard slides. We make them larger. They're almost the size of a sheet of paper. And the reason why we do that is because we want them to be a little bit larger so that when we save them out as show notes, we got some pretty good information. It's not so compacted that it doesn't make sense. All right. So the first thing you do is you go and assemble all your content. We do that in Google Slides. After that, we do our layout and we lay out the script. Now, I can move these around, put them in different order like this, and that's how I determine the flow of the individual show. Okay. And we have a hired hand that does some of this for me so that we get the show out. Now, once we do that, we would take something like, let's say, run your own giveaways, and we put it in that teleprompter that I told you about earlier, this right here. And then when we start the teleprompter, let's get it started here. Where's it at? Oh, okay, there it goes. So then once we get it started, it runs like that. My camera is right in front of this. And so I'm looking at the camera. I'm reading the slides as it goes forward. And if this was over here, this was what would be what I'd be reading. Okay. And that's how simple it is. That's how we do each segment, each week. All right. And that's how we get it done. All right. So I'm going to bury that again. So we do the each move the content. We move it to the teleprompter. That's Easy Prompter, ifggo.pro/Easy Prompter, EASYPROMPTER, Easy Prompter. We do that. Then we get ready and we record the sections. Now let's go back to Camtasia. When I click up here at the top, like this, it will allow me to define the size. Right now, I've just got this little itty bitty thing up here, but I could have this whole screen or what have you. And what I normally do is I have my my camera is already being used elsewhere, so it's not going to let me record that, but the camera would be right there. And I could do all of that and record the whole screen or record none of the screen and just have me on camera talking. All right, so that's how we do the recording in Camtasia. It is a neat little program. And we have the link for that right there. It's ifggo.pro/Camtasia. Now, you don't have to use Camtasia. There are other products you can use that are absolutely free. I like Camtasia. Well, let me show you something. We have the ability to use a number of different programs. There's Camtasia there. I can do mind maps. I can do snagging. I can do Zoom meetings. I can do Logitech Capture. I can do XSplit Broadcast. I have just a plethora of different programs. Some of them are free. A Shampoo. I can use all of those things in order to record this broadcast. For me, Camtasia has been awful good. It's been awful good for me. All right. And and I have, just like I say, I have just ooh-wee amounts of programs on the system. And so don't feel like because you don't have a high-end product or a high-end package that you can't. You start where you are. Start where you are and do your best, and then you can get better. You ain't gonna be that good when you start. You don't need an $800, $900. Well, that's not what Camtasia costs, but you don't need a $1,000 rig in order to start recording. Start with your webcam. Start with your telephone, and build from there. You'll get better. Okay. So you don't even need my Blue Yeti mic. I love my Blue Yeti mic. There it is. I don't know if you can see it. Yep, there it is. I love you. I love you. Okay. And so that is my microphone that I use. It's called a Blue Yeti. I I guess I need to put that in the show notes too. But so we record the sections in Camtasia. We lay them out. It's called a nonlinear editor. We lay them out in Camtasia, and then we insert our breaks and our promotions, which I showed you earlier, also in Camtasia. We create the timestamps, which I showed you already. In Camtasia, I can tell you what the timestamps are. Then we produce the video. Well, in Camtasia, all we have to do to produce this video is come up here to the top, and now we could send it straight to a number of places. What we don't do is that what we normally do is save it to a local file, and then we're going to send it to Anchor, which handles the audio distribution of our podcast. We're going to send it to YouTube and Facebook, and we do that through Restream. So those are the two places we're going to save that file to our hard drive, and then we'll move it over to those other places. Okay, so that's what we do next. We're going to create the actual MP4, and once we do that, I guess I need to show you how you do that quickly. So you come over here, and where it says share, you click share, and you click local file. All right, and this will come up. We do just straight MP4, no chaser. And when you hit click, it'll start going through and building that MP4. And when you get done, it'll go straight over here to VLC, where we do our stinger. VLC, if you don't know what that is, it's our video player. Okay, don't you love that? Anyhow, but VLC is what we use as our player, and there are a couple of reasons for that. We started using VLC before before YouTube would allow you to speed up your video. Okay, I got a short attention span on a lot of things. If I'm listening to a webinar, I hate to hear people babble. I want them to get to the point. And so if I play the webinar at 1.5 times speed or 1.4 times speed, I can consume an hour and a half worth of webinar in under an hour. So that's what I love. So VLC allows me to do that. I can save the videos out and then do it that way. It's just easier. But VLC, we use it a lot for a lot of different things. Let me also show you. Some people ask me all the time, how do I get this background behind me? I use a program called XSplit VCam. XSplit VCam. You see it on your screen right now. Let me close up Camtasia real quick. Okay, so now this black box right here that you see, this is the XSplit VCam. Now, we use XSplit Broadcaster a lot around here too, especially when we're producing product or when we're producing training that we want to have multiple slides and we want to have a background, and I might be using a whiteboard or what have you. Well, VCam comes with that. Now, I have a green screen. Let me show you what it really looks like behind me. I have a green screen, okay? It's behind me. You can see it. I have the lighting set up. That old chair is back there. I didn't mean to show you that, but okay. And this is what, okay. So this is what the background would look like with nothing in behind me. And I could take that to Camtasia, or I can take that anywhere. And then what happens is it looks like that what you see now is black behind me, but I could have had that, I could let that show through to the screen, and it would look like I'm just in front of the screen. You've seen that by people. And this is our standard Christian stimulus. This is what I look like when I'm doing the in the house thing, right? These are the two that I use a lot. It has my branding on it, and that's what I like. Okay, so this is XSplit VCam. XSplit VCam. You should, I think I have that on here too. I do. This is Camtasia, and do I have XSplit? I didn't put XSplit on there. Okay, well, I'll get that in the show notes for you, all right? I love XSplit VCam as well. All right, so we do all that. We produce the video in Camtasia. We create the timestamps in Camtasia. Now, the next thing we would have to do is do our graphics, okay? So let's go up here, and I'm going to show you how we do it. This is Canva. You'll see a link to Canva in the show notes, and you can see it probably right now when we go back to slides. But in fact, let me tell you what it is since we're here. Canva is, where did it go? Oh, there it is. ifggo.pro/Canva. ifggo.pro/Canva. What else? And so this is Canva. It is free. Say free. Do you like free as much as I like free? Because I really do like free. All right. So this is Canva. And so what we're going to do is go over to my projects and like this. Well, let me do this first. This is all my projects, all your designs. I have my son has a chicken restaurant, Henderson's Chicken, here in Fort Worth. If you're in Southwest Fort Worth, or even if you're anywhere in the Metroplex, go down to Southwest Fort Worth to Henderson's Chicken and look at my son's chicken shack. This is it. And you won't. Henderson Chicken is known all over Dallas Fort Worth as being some of the best chicken out. Okay, so but here's my slate for the VCast podcast, and this was last week's. Okay, so I'm gonna go back just and close this out because I already have this week's in here. So this is what this week's is going to look like. We'll put that in the front of the various videos so that that's what people see when we get ready to do it. All right. It's easy, it's quick, it's dirty, and it's in a hurry. All right. So this is it. We put in here, we take a very good picture of myself. We do these, we have publicity shots done. Listen, don't spend a lot of money on that. Find one of those special $1.99. Go get just the basic parts of it. You can blow it up, you can make it smaller, and all of those things. But go get a good shot. We have to use these for ministry anyway. So, and then we put in the description of what we're going to talk about, the date, and the episode number for the podcast. Okay. Then we save it. I'll just go right up here and save it. Bing. And then it is on our hard drive, and we will use that as well. Okay. Okay. So let me go back to the slides. So we produce the graphics. You have to have graphics. Don't let anybody fool you. Whether you're doing just whether you're doing just social media, graphics make a difference. If you're doing IG, Instagram, graphics, pictures make the difference. If you're doing Pinterest, we get a lot of traffic from Pinterest. Don't be afraid to make sure that you have some decent graphics. So once we've done that, we go back to Google Slides. And now I'm going to show you how I create the, wrong thing. Didn't want to touch that. Okay, well, we'll go back. It's not going to hurt us. Okay, so here's slides. And so what we're going to do is go up here to File. And what we're going to see is Download. And what we want to do is download a text file. Why not a PDF? Why not ODR? Why not? Well, it's very simple. The plain text file allows me to copy and paste this to the descriptions for YouTube, the descriptions for Anchor, every place where I need to put it, it allows me to do. And here's where it just saves it out as a text file, and then you have it. All I have to do is hit that. And so now, once I move that up to Google Drive, then I can share it. I have a folder up there called Public Downloads, and that's where where I share different things to people. And that folder I'll put the show notes. I'll label it as show notes for the day, and I'll put it there, and people can get to it and use it. All right. All right. Been up here about a half hour, so we're doing right about good time. All right. So the next thing, we've created the show notes. Now I want to show you my baby. I love Restream. Restream, Restream, Restream. This is Restream. And I'm currently broadcasting, so you can't see anything. This is what you see in this window is what I'm doing. All right. And I'm in a different window, so it's a little bit slower than what I'm doing. But that is Restream as it looks when you're working on it. All right. And I love Restream. I like Restream a lot. And that's what it looks like when I'm sending it out. It is not nearly that complex. All of this is not there. All of this square here is not there. But all of the different channels I'm sending to, Periscope, LinkedIn, Twitch. Y'all like Twitch? I love Twitch. Well, I don't love Twitch, but I like it okay. YouTube, both my YouTube channels I got. Right now, I'm not going to the podcast channel. I'm just going to Christian Stimulus. But I have a podcast channel. Right now, Facebook, I'm just going to Christian Stimulus. I'm not going to the I Feel God page, which is where the podcast originates. And I'm going to my personal Facebook page. Now, all of these are hot. You should, if you go to any of those pages right now, you will see me live at the same time. That is the value of Restream. That is the value of Restream. ifggo.pro/Restream. ifggo.pro/Restream. Okay? And that's where we do that. All right? Now, once we've done with Restream, that's what I need to show you. Over here in Restream, what happens is we'll take that file. Remember that file that I created in Camtasia? We'll take that file, we'll load it here. And then once we've loaded it here, we'll tell it that we want it to I'm in the wrong section. Okay, we'll load it here and we'll create an event. And so at 12 o'clock on Tuesdays, the podcast will go out with its event. It will announce that on all these social media channels. And then it'll start playing that video exactly at 12 o'clock. And that's great. The other thing we do is we send the video up here to Anchor. Anchor is our audio podcast partner. Did I say free? I meant to tell you it's free and you can earn money from it. And this is some of the stats that you get with it. So when we go up here and we say do a new episode, right? And we then upload that episode right here. And once it's done loading it, it creates a podcast RSS, really simple syndication feed, and that's what drives podcasting. We're on a number of different places. We're on, of course, I can't think of any right now, but we're all the podcasts. We're iTunes, all of that. You'll find our podcast, Stitcher. You'll find us on all of those, iHeartRadio. You'll find us on all of that, and that's where we do the audio. It automatically takes the audio from that video, and then it will broadcast it. Okay, so that's the basic layout. Here's, as I told you earlier, here's Groove. This is the page. You don't have to pull out your credit card. All you have to do is hit this red button right over here in the corner and say get started. There's training, there's video, there's all of that kind of good stuff. Okay. So there you have it. Once we've distributed the audio, once we've distributed the video to YouTube, to Facebook, etc., then we go and we promote it. It is not enough. Listen to me. It's not enough to put it out there. If you build it, they will not necessarily come. If you want to have good statistics, you want to have good followership, you need to make sure you let people know what you're talking about and what you're doing. We have an email list that we use in ConvertKit. I thought I had it up earlier. I guess I don't. Let me just start it for you. Um, let me just. I think it's ifggo.pro/convertkit. It ain't working. Convert. Is that up there? Kit. Oh no, not .com. Just ConvertKit. I think that's it. If it's not, I'll fix it. It will be when you see it next. Okay, yeah, that's ConvertKit. All right, and then once you get here, you can log in or what have you, and this is where we have all our email lists. We've got right now subscribers. We've got 1,500 subscribers, and I didn't do anything last week. And when you don't do anything, people unsubscribe from you. Okay, so it's much better to send email to your list every day than to let it cool down. Okay, that's just the truth. But ConvertKit is how we did it. Now, listen to me. Did I tell you I like the word free? Free. ConvertKit is free till you get few hundred people under your belt, especially churches. Listen to me. Start with ConvertKit. Quit sending out emails with everybody in the church's email address where everybody else can find it out. Have some security to what you're doing, okay? And ConvertKit is just perfect for that, and you won't regret it. We use that. We use Groove pages to build landing pages to explain and tell people about the latest podcast. And of course, we go to social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, IG. We use all of those to tell about our podcast. Now, if you have questions, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to send me an email. Send me an email to ifeelgod at gmail. My name is James Brown. Come on. ifeelgod@gmail.com. Send it to me and let me know your questions, and I'll be more than glad to answer them. Also, as you see on the screen right now, you can have a one-on-one free, did I say free? I told you I like that word, free call with me. Just go to ifggo.pro/let's talk. And the Let's Talk will allow you to have a free call. Now, I charge real money for other calls, but you can talk to me absolutely free. Let's find out what you're doing. Let's find out what you're doing in ministry. Let's find out what you're doing in business. Let's find out what you're doing online. Let me help you do better at what you do. Okay, that's what I'm here for. All right. Then, as I said, this is normally going to be in the don't buy fried ice cream section. That we're trying to change our podcast name. We're thinking about it real hard. Our Don't Buy Fried Ice Cream section has become very popular. And we know that from looking at our statistics, has become very popular in our podcast. And so because it's become popular, we want to use it more. All right. And the way we do that is we change the name to the Don't Buy Fried Ice Cream. Now, if you think that's good or if you think that's bad, I need to hear from you. Send an email to ifeelgod plus name, the plus sign, and then the word NAME at gmail.com. ifeelgod, James Brown, ifeelgod plus name at gmail.com. And when you do that, I'll get the email. You can tell me you liked it, you didn't like it, you don't think the name should change, you think it should stay at I Feel God. I need to know what you think. You, the posse. That's why we do this, all right? Well, I think I've explained everything I wanted to explain. In your description, you'll have the links to most of everything already. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that it's been a blessing to you. Either way, let me know. Okay. All right. This is Bishop James, I Feel God Brown, and I'm signing off and out. I'll talk to you later.